It is 11 minutes away from 8. Great to have your company this morning. We'll get to your feedback in just a few moments. First, it is time to talk business with our partners 2 Degrees. Inflation is the worst it will get, we hope, for now. That's what the pundits are telling us. The ANZ should cut 25 points next month and may need another cut after that. Garth Bray's been looking at business reaction and joins me from Business Desk this morning. Garth, good morning.
Good morning, Ryan.
So what did you take out of yesterday?
Interesting. I looked at some of those numbers and some of the reporting around it, and you kind of look at not just the headline number, but also what are the numbers that the people who are making the decisions are looking at. There's a couple of numbers that we need to think about today. One is the sectoral factor model of inflation, which sounds like economics class, but basically the measure that the ANZ looks at, which is kind of core inflation. It's the stuff that sticks underneath all the different inflation measures that are in like housing or food or whatever. So it's the common stuff rather than just any specifics that might be affecting like a bump, like bad weather or, you know, a downturn in construction or whatever. And that measure is steady at 2.7 from the previous quarter, which suggests that, you know, things aren't as bad as we thought, that it is contained, and that the forward look suggests that you know, that given the amount of economic activity we've got, it shouldn't go higher, and then that gives you the confidence that they will, you know, be more relaxed about cutting. There's a bit of a note of caution in there. I mean, like the BNZ economists saying, look, those measures are pretty well entrenched in the top of the 1 to 3% inflation band, so that means that there's not like a massive area for cutting. But the markets, on the other hand, when you look at the swap rates, are saying, well, we actually think the terminal inflation rate or terminal OCR rate will get to 2.09, which basically says really convinced that in the next round they'll cut 25 basis point, and a pretty high chance that they might even lop another 25 off at the start of next year before they finish this kind of easing cycle.
All right, let's move to ANZ. They had some hard news yesterday, planned law change that affects the big court. Oh, this is the court case we've been talking about.
Yeah.
So what exactly has happened for ANZ?
So for them, they were hoping, I think, that they would get a law change, that Parliament's Select Committee, Finance Select Committee and Finance and Expenditure would report this Credit Contracts and Consumer Finance Act law change back with a retrospective change that meant that a court case they were facing for customers that were actually undercharged for about 4 years, some of them, when the judges got to look at that case, they'd say, oh, well, we can downgrade the penalty based on fairness and so on. When it's come back, no, that's gone. This was quite a controversial change that they were talking about because it's a retrospective law. There's a court case already in front of the courts and you're making law over the top of them. That's gone now, and that's, you know, some might say largely because the committees looked at this and decided it didn't like the reasons that were put forward for why it's in there. And what that means is 17,000 customers are still going to court against them to say, hey, we need to pay. Antonia Watson, frustrating, possibly disappointing is the word I think she used, with a less than cherry face. Not going to rule out settling.
All right.
And the claimants saying, hey, we're still talking 300 million that we want out of you for this.
Alliance, this is the meat processor again, a story we've been talking about. They are voting today, aren't they? On whether
Yesterday.
Oh, they've already voted.
So they've voted.
Result today.
Result today, and Pāmu, which other people might know them better, Landcorp, yeah, 1.62%, but it actually makes them the second biggest shareholder in the group, and they have said, yeah, we are for the deal.
It's going to happen.
It got 86% turnout before the voting, before the meeting got underway. So you'd say early voting was strong, and that might suggest that the early voting, if it's come through before that late push from that faction that said don't do it, maybe their message hasn't got across. But they need 75% Alliance to agree to this sale to Irish meat company.
Do you think they'll get it? I reckon they'll sell, and the Fonterra is going to sell. Everyone's just going to sell. Whether it's the Irish or the French, just take it off our hands.
Take it and make it better.
Exactly. Garth, thank you for that. Garth Bray from Business Desk. We talk business every day thanks to our partners 2 Degrees. It is 7 minutes away from 8, and the government has set aside a combined total of 1.